Welcome back to another lesson in our construction course. In this video, we will focus on plant and equipment's hourly cost analysis, a critical component of construction cost management. Our goal is to determine the total cost per hour to own and operate a piece of machinery, allowing us to accurately set our rental or usage rates. We will achieve this by calculating three main categories of expenses: ownership costs, aka fixed costs; operating costs, aka variable costs; administrative costs, aka admin expenses. So let's begin. Now we move on to the second example, which is the TLB, Tractor-Loader-Backhoe. So like you see, this is one of the common heavy equipment that's used in the construction industry. I think we'll look at other equipment in another lesson. So we calculate the hourly rate for this one, for ownership and operating, like we did with the concrete mixer. Before we commence with the calculations, I think I need to highlight that you need to go back to the list of the operating costs, ownership costs, and admin costs in the part 1 of this lesson, because now we are going to dig deep into the highlighted ones as well, the admin costs. So just familiarize yourself with those costs again, but it's not so different. As you can see, we have the same table that we had in part 1 with the following components: the cost component, value, unit, and data source. But I now need you to look at the values because they have now changed. So you need to take note of that. As for the data sources, it's just the same thing, maybe just changed a bit, but we just updated it so that you get to know more about where to get these costs, the values, and the amounts. I suggest you familiarize yourself with the information that is there, so that when you calculate, you know where it is being put. But with this one, we are just going to summarize what we have been doing. We are not going to look much into the detail of the calculations like we did in the previous part. So just make sure you focus and understand more. There are some calculations we're going to use formulas, don't worry, but for others where we are not, because we have already done it in the first part. Our analysis is built on specific input data, which includes a cost of equipment, $180,000, a useful life of 6 years, and 2,800 operating hours per year. Key cost factors are also provided, such as a loaded operator wage of $18 per hour, a maintenance factor of 100% of depreciation, and a total investment/interest rate and TIS, taxes, insurance, storage, rate of 10% plus 12% equals 22% of the average value. The cost of the tires is treated separately at $10,000 with a life of 4,000 hours, and the fuel consumption rate is 14.0 liters per hour at 75 cents per liter. Acquaint yourself with the values and try to calculate on your own, and compare your answers with the ones we shall provide soon. The ownership costs are fixed expenses, incurred regardless of machine usage. First, we calculate the hourly depreciation based on the equipment cost, useful life, and annual operating hours, which comes out to $10.71 per hour. The maintenance cost is set at 100% of the depreciation, matching it at $10.71 per hour. Next, we calculate the average value of the machine, which is $105,000. This value is used to calculate the investment cost, which covers interest and TIS, taxes, insurance, and storage. By applying the total rate of 22% to the average value and dividing by the annual hours, the investment cost is $8.25 per hour. Summing these three components, the total ownership cost is $29.67 per hour. You might have noticed that there is potentially a mix-up of cost with regards to their categories, and in this case it depended on the situation which determined whether the cost is fixed or variable. This is with regards to depreciation and maintenance, so refer to part 1 for clarity, but that observation will show us that you are paying close attention in both parts of the lesson. The machine operating costs are variable and directly tied to the machine's running time. This calculation treats the tire costs separately. We calculate the hourly tire depreciation by dividing the tire cost by their life in hours, resulting in $2.50 per hour. Tire repair cost is 15% of this depreciation, or 38 cents per hour. The fuel cost is calculated by multiplying the consumption rate by the cost per liter, giving us $10.50 per hour. Finally, a simplified rate for lube oil cost is included at 10 cents per hour. The total of these variable costs, the total machine operating cost, is $13.48 per hour. We saw in the previous example, in Part 1, that everything was added together. We had the initial cost, where we added the cost of the tires and the equipment together. Here, you might notice that it has been treated differently. So, we're saying the cost of the equipment is different from the tires, and we then treat them differently, getting the respective rates differently. So that's the basic reason. You might understand it further as we go, so that you appreciate why that has been done. As for this lesson, we're still trying to test our Shumbafoot systems and the adoption of latest tech. Basically, this was separated because we are saying tires have been acquired differently from the equipment. The labor and administration costs cover the human and overhead elements separate from the machine's fixed or variable expenses. The loaded operator wage is provided as $18 per hour. The training and admin fee is calculated as 8% of the operator wage, which is $1.44 per hour. Note that the TIS cost is not included here as it was already accounted for in the ownership costs when we calculated the investment cost. The total labor and admin cost is the sum of the operator wage and the administration fee, equaling $19.44 per hour. To find the comprehensive cost, we sum the three main cost categories. Ownership costs, fixed, $29.67. Machine operating costs, variable, $13.48. Labor and administration costs, $19.44. The total fully burdened cost per hour for owning and operating the TLB, under all the stated assumptions, is $62.59 per hour. This figure represents the true cost required to keep this essential piece of equipment working on a project. At this stage, you need to have converted all your annual costs to hourly costs because our overall total answer will be an hourly rate, as shown. So we've reached the end. By totaling our fixed ownership costs, variable operating costs, and labor and administration costs, we've calculated the fully burdened hourly cost for owning and operating the Tractor-Loader-Backhoe TLB, $62.59 per hour. I hope you found this comprehensive breakdown easy to follow. We are still working to refine our production process to deliver shorter, high-quality videos. So please bear with us as we test these new systems. If you have any questions about the calculations, please comment below. Keep learning, stay up to date with modern construction trends, and let's keep building a better and sustainable environment. Thanks for watching.